Hey guys, my name is Holly. I've just returned from a trip with my family to Singapore. What an action-packed, fun-filled holiday destination it was. There was so much to do. Singapore is a 5-hour flight from our hometown of Perth in Western Australia. If you are planning a family holiday to Singapore, then I highly recommend you watch this movie to see all our favourite things to do here. We stayed 7 nights in Singapore, so we had time for 9 activities. We researched extensively before we went and decided on these 9 things as being best for our kids who are aged 1.5, 5 and 7. Let's get started. First up, if you visit Singapore, you can't miss the iconic Gardens by the Bay. This is a very large inner city park. It reminds me a bit of the large park found in Perth called Kings Park. There are so many different parts of the park to explore. The first place we checked out was Super Tree Grove. Super Tree Grove has 12 of the garden's 18 super trees. For a view from a high vantage point, you can pay to either go up the tallest super tree to the observatory, or you can go on the Skyway Walkway, which is a 22-metre high walkway with amazing views of the gardens and Singapore. We chose this option and we thoroughly enjoyed it. We came back one night to see the super trees lit up, which was really beautiful. There are 2 light and music shows on every night called the Garden Rhapsody Show, but even when the shows are not on, the trees are still lit up and really beautiful to look at. Another place we visited in Gardens by the Bay is the 2 Domes. The first one we visited was Cloud Forest. Cloud Forest is a cooled conservatory. The aircon was very good in here and we really appreciated a break from the super hot and sweaty Singapore weather whilst in here. Even if you are not usually into botany, it is still worth a visit to experience such a unique, one-of-a-kind attraction. Inside, you will find one of the world's tallest indoor waterfalls and a lush mountain teeming with plants and lots of interesting walkways to explore. Next we visited the other dome, the Flower Dome. This dome doesn't have the wow factor of the waterfall or mountain and is more just about the plants. It only cost a little more to visit this dome when you were already purchasing tickets for the Cloud Forest. So we thought since we had come all this way to Singapore, we may as well check it out. We didn't want to spend too long in here, and I would say if you only wanted to visit one dome that you choose the Cloud Forest as it is a bit more interesting. When we visited in April, there was a special exhibit of cherry blossom trees in bloom, which were really beautiful. Our kids' favourite attraction at Gardens by the Bay was definitely the Children's Garden. The entry here is a bit confusing as there is no sign. You actually enter through the cafe. This is a free attraction, which is great. The 2 main things to do here are a great water play area and a fantastic playground which features a rainforest treehouse and an obstacle course through the forest. Another place I recommend you visit at Gardens by the Bay is Satay by the Bay. This is the name of a place you can eat at. It's like an outdoor food court with lots of different delicious Singaporean food to choose from. There are plenty of tables you can eat at with nice views over the water. After having dinner here one night, we walked 10 minutes along the waterfront to the Marina Bay Sands building. It was a beautiful walk with lovely views of the lights, as you can see. Along the way, we checked out the Helix Bridge. This bridge is a pedestrian bridge linking Marina Centre with Marina South. This brings me to the second thing on my list of things to do in Singapore, which is to go up the observation deck of one of the most iconic and unique buildings in Singapore, the Marina Bay Sands. Up here, you'll be able to enjoy dazzling views of Singapore. It is recommended that you pre-purchase tickets, especially if visiting at peak times such as the evening. We did this and we're glad that we did, because when we arrived we saw people being turned away because it was fully booked out. We went up at 7:45 p.m. and watched the Garden Rhapsody light show taking place in Gardens by the Bay, and we also saw the Spectra Light and Water show, which is on at the Marina waterfront at 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. every night. There was a huge queue for the lifts to get back down after we had finished admiring the view, so keep this in mind if visiting with kids, that it could be a pretty late night. The highlight of our family's trip to Singapore was absolutely Universal Studios. We pre-purchased our tickets online and managed to find a deal where we could go in an hour early for no extra cost. Look how quiet the main street is at 9 a.m. Our girls, who are aged 5 and 7, really enjoyed this Sesame Street spaghetti space chase ride. I think we went on it about 4 or 5 times. They also enjoyed the Puss in Boots roller coaster. We went on it quite a few times. It was really fun. This mini Ferris wheel was the first ride my 1-year-old had ever been on. How cute is he? He's loving it. It is inside the gift shop next to the Shrek 4D cinema. My girls actually found the Shrek 4D movie experience too scary and we had to leave, but it's a really great show if you have older kids. These are the 2 fastest roller coasters in the park, which is super fun. My husband and I went on these without our kids. This is the Jurassic Park ride. We found this so fun. Thankfully my girls weren't scared of the dinosaurs. I thought they might be. Our kids loved perusing the shops, and a highlight of the day for them was us giving them all $20 to spend on a special memento. This is my personal favourite part of Universal Studios, the Waterworld show. I've seen it quite a few times before at this park and other theme parks around the world. I find the stunts so inspiring and just find the whole show so entertaining and fun. My baby was sleeping in the pram and they wouldn't let him in due to the loud noises, so that's something to keep in mind. Luckily I had my mum with us and she was happy to wait outside the theatre with him. This was the sun setting at the end of our day. We were at the park the whole day from 9 till 7. Outside the park is this food truck area called Gourmet Park. It's such a fabulous idea because you come out hungry and it's so convenient to be able to eat straight away before travelling back to your accommodation to crash for the night. We also ate here after our day at the Adventure Cove Waterpark. Next, we headed off to Singapore Zoo. There are 3 zoo type of parks to go to in Singapore. There is Night Safari, which I've been to before and really loved, but it's only open at night time and I thought our girls would find it too late at night. There is also River Safari, which would be cool to go to next time to see pandas, which I've never seen before. However, we went to the classic zoo called Singapore Zoo. This zoo had beautiful lush jungle all throughout the park. We found the heat and humidity pretty brutal and could only stay here for half a day due to it. Use of this little train is included for free with your entry ticket, and it's great to sit on and just enjoy the view when you are feeling depleted from the heat. We also enjoyed this elephant show. It was cool getting to be so close to these beautiful animals. Aren't they so sweet? They were very clever and showed us a few of their tricks. We really enjoyed this sea lion show starring Pedro called Splash Safari. It was our highlight experience from the zoo. Here are a couple of other animals found at Singapore Zoo. Lastly, we visited the children's section of the zoo and had lunch here in the well air-conditioned restaurant. Our children really enjoyed cooling off in the water play area. We also watched a little dog and cat show here. My daughter was even picked for the audience participation segment, which was very exciting.
Okay, this is Ted from Australia. Let's give her a round of applause. All the way. And some hands to the front. Ladies and gentlemen.
The next activity we recommend you do is take a trip on the Singapore cable car. We caught a taxi to Mount Faber and enjoyed the fantastic views as we flew across to Sentosa Island. At Sentosa Island, we walked a very short distance to the Luge. After doing the Luge, we had lunch and then rode on the cable car again, but on the Sentosa line to take in the lush rainforest views of Sentosa Island. Then we walked back to the Mount Faber line and caught the cable car back to Mount Faber and caught a taxi back to our hotel. The Skyline Luge on Sentosa Island was so much fun. There are 4 tracks to ride down and a chairlift to take you back up to the top of the track. A luge is like a go-kart and you control it by pulling back on the handlebars to slow or stop and releasing the handlebars to accelerate. It was the first time my kids had ever been on a luge. My 7-year-old was fine riding one by herself, but my 5-year-old shared one with me. Number 7, go shopping at the Bugis Street markets. These are the largest markets in Singapore. It is a really fun cultural experience to go shopping here. Regarding the prices here, I actually thought they were quite similar to the prices at markets and cheap shops such as Kmart in Australia. Things are definitely not cheap here like they would be in Bali or Thailand. Shopping here is more for fun and to find some unique things to remind you of your Singapore holiday. Number 8 is Keep Cool at Adventure Cove Waterpark. This park is found on Sentosa Island. Here you will find a lazy river, a big wave pool with fun party tunes cranking, a great children's play area, which includes a water slide, which my 5-year-old was allowed to go on, which was nice since she was not quite the right height to ride on most of the other water slides. My favourite part of this park was Rainbow Reef, a unique experience where you can snorkel in an aquarium with heaps of fish and colourful coral. This is the baby splash area for super young kids. And of course the park features plenty of water slides too. Lastly, I recommend you plan to include some time exploring Changi Airport as part of your Singapore holiday. There is a part of the airport called the Jewel, which is definitely worth exploring. We checked in our baggage for our flight several hours early and then walked over to the Jewel, which is kind of like a large shopping centre. It features an amazing amount of lush green plants growing in it. We had lunch at the food hall on the lowest level and then admired the main attraction, the world's tallest indoor waterfall, from several different levels. We were planning on having some fun at Canopy Park on level 5, where there is a mirror maze, a suspended net, slides and much more, but we had unfortunately run out of time and had to head to the departure lounge to catch our flight home. Well, that wraps up our top 9 things to do in Singapore with Kids travel guide. I hope it helps you decide what activities you will choose to do if you are planning a trip to Singapore. We found Singapore to be a great, easy and safe holiday destination for our first overseas family holiday since becoming a family of 5. I don't think I have ever been anywhere before where there are so many options of things to do. We will definitely be back. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next video where we review our accommodation in Singapore, the Treetop Executive Residences. See you next time!